Hey y'all, it's your girl Heather, aka Some Ginger Chick, and today we are. Sorry, I'm using a new setup. We're expanding on our Learn Tarot series, and we're starting with the suits this time. And now, the suits are often called signifiers. A lot of them will talk about them being what's called signifiers. And what a signifier means is it's a representation often as a person. So the page, the knight, the queen, the king, all of those things often represent a physical, actual person many times, but they can also represent energy. It's up to you to determine whether or not it's a signifier, which these are usually signifiers, and additionally with major arcana, but major arcana is far more complicated and more in depth about um, like the energy around said person, or it's a strong energy of a said person. So it's believed that if you get a signifier, which is a page, a knight, a queen, or a king, in tarot, or especially accompanied with major arcana in clarification, that's exactly what you're dealing with, or it's a person you're dealing with, and this is their energy, or this is what's going on. Anyway, so we'll start first. I've got them all laid out. We're going to start first with our pages. Now, all pages are young energy. So when we say young energy, we mean that the signifier could be a child themselves, especially when it comes to pages. So it can be a child, it could be the representation of a child or childlike energy. With that said, let's dive right in, and we'll start with the Page of Wands. Of course, as we already know, Wands is very fire energy. Fire! Just like fire. So this could be someone who has like childlike passion, or it's the infancy or the adolescent stages. To me, when I see Page, I think of like very young childlike energy. So they're learning, they're just starting out, they're just starting to explore this energy, right? So, Page of Wands, we know, is a fire energy. A lot of people can equate it to like almost like mild infatuation, or it could be a young fire sign child, Leo, Aries, Sag. Whichever one, depending again on the reading and everything around it, Page of Wands is about the start of passion, start of fluidity coming. It's evolved to like preteen or teenage, very young teenage. I grew up with new kid. Oh oh oh. Oh, oh, oh. So it was like the new kids on the block type thing. If you're a Zennial like me, or, older Gen Xer, or young millennial, elder millennial, you would understand like this energy. I compare it to New Kids on the Block, because that song, oh, 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 you got the right stuff. But it doesn't always necessarily mean that, but it's the beginning of like passion. It's young passion. It hadn't quite expanded. But it can also, like I said, signify a young child under a fire sign energy. Page of Pentacles. Now, this one this is the friendship card. So if you get this card, in my opinion, it's like, they're offering you something. Um, if they're offering you their little pinnacle, hey, look, it reminds me of like a child that brings you a flower. Look, mama, I picked this for you. Or, oh, look, I picked this for you. It kind of gives me that energy. That's the way I see it. But it's not necessarily full interest. It's more like appreciation, or in a but it's expressed in a very childlike manner. So that's the way I see Page of Pentacles. Whether it be like in a if it's a job or career reading, it means like, yeah, they're interested in you. Maybe you're going to have another interview, maybe something, those kind of things. But it doesn't necessarily like denote anything much more than childlike interest. But in a love reading, I see this as like someone is fond of you or affectionate towards you, but it's early stages. It's not, this is what they're willing to give. They're willing to like be charming and hand you a flower, but it's with childlike energy. Page of Swords. Now, this one I find incredibly interesting. They call this the stalker card. This means somebody's watching me. They playing tricks on me. Whoa. Page of Swords is like very young. It's air energy. They want to know like who, what, when, where, why. And so it's that type but it's also like the beginning of finding out the truth. They're in the energy of finding out the truth, but it's very young. They may not be communicating with you. They're doing it incognito. So when you see this, you see it maybe, it's also very indicative of social media in a lot of platforms because, I mean, it's the spying card. It's the, you know, sometimes it can be a little creepy, like, dudes creeping and looking in your window and shit. But this means this person's creeping and they're thinking about like, well, I'm gathering intel. This is gathering intel. That's what this means. So if you get this in a love reading, it can very well mean you're being stalked by someone, low key, or they're watching you. Somebody's watching me. And that's the way this energy is. Somebody is watching you, but they're not taking action. They're just watching. And they're contemplating their next move or step because, again, young energy. And air energy, we know, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. This can also represent someone who is an Aquarius, Libra, Gemini in young energy, depending on the cards around it. We've discussed all that in multiple things prior. But the important thing to take away from Page of Swords is that it's a thought, it's an idea, and it's gathering intel. I need to get more information. So you can apply it accordingly that way. Page of Cups. I absolutely love this card, and I'll tell you why. This is, some people say it's the apology card. It's someone offering you something, like emotionally, but it also represents many times like an apology. So if you'll know if it applies to an apology based on the rest of the reading. But this is like, I'm young. It's like offering emotions in a very, I don't want to say immature, but not detailed setting. It can be flirtation. It can be any of those types of energies. It's about, it could be a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio, representative of a young Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. But it also represents, like I said, that small energy. Like, I'm sorry. Here, will you take my little, here's my little emotional offering. And it's kind of that way too. I mean, it can also mean like, I'm willing to give a little bit to see where maybe this could go, but I don't really know. So I like you. It reminds me almost of like that George Strait song, check yes or no. Do you want, but it's done in a very playful, do you want to be my friend? And if you want to, then baby, don't be afraid to take me by the hand. I think this is how love goes. Check yes or no. So it's like that energy of like, I'm kind of playing it. I'm testing the waters. And it's the same thing with an apology. It's like I'm testing the waters, so don't expect a lot. But it's playful, flirtatious give of emotion. Or it can be a young child that is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces with, my little My little fish in a cup. Will you help it? Treat things delicately. Here I come in you in supplication. All right, forgive me. I'm getting frustrated because my phone's being a little bitch. All right, so the phone cut out, but I summed up the whole pages. Now we're gonna move on to the night. It's being a don't be a little bitch. Don't be a little bitch. All right, talking to my phone there. All right, so now we have our Knight of Pentacles. Now, Knight energy is very like it's almost like teenage energy, right? So when you think of like Paige would be younger, more innocent, very, very beginning. This is something that, all right, we've moved past that and now we're here. So what are we going to do? Where are we now? What's going on? So Knight of Pentacles. All right, Knight of Pentacles is like the most frustrating sometimes fucking card to ever get, especially in a love reading, because when I see Knight of Pentacles, I'm like, dude, pack a snack. I tell people pack a snack because Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving energy. If somebody knows what they want, they know where they want to go, they got a plan. They got plans, right? Plans. But they just don't seem to get very far with those fucking plans because they just boom, 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 boom. So it's slow moving energy with good intentions, allegedly good intentions, depending on what's around the cards. It's like, I know what I want and I'm going to offer it to you as soon as I get my shit together. Now you got to ask yourself, like, all right, are you working to get your shit together? And everything else will come around. All the other cards around it will tell you if this person is working to get their shit together or they're wasting your time. This person thinks time is on my side. Yes, it is. But guess what? It may not be. So it's very important. That's why I say pack a snack, because this motherfucker right here, they gonna get there eventually if they don't change their mind before the end of this journey. But yeah, in a love reading, especially if you have good positive cards around it, this is a good thing. In a career reading, this is like these people are just taking their damn time, and you are taking your time, or somebody is taking their time. They know what they want, they know how to get it, they just plodding along. A lot of people talk about this being Taurus energy, and I'm a Taurus myself, and yet I hate this card. Okay, I don't hate it. That's not the right thing. But like I groan when I see it because I know exactly what it means. It's like, all right, well, I'm gonna bide my time. I'm gonna wait it out. I'm gonna wait and see if I should give you my little flower, my little cup. Yeah, it's like the teenage boy that eventually the thing is this person can definitely, you often see that, it's just been my experience, this card ends up like surrounded with coulda shoulda woulda cards later on, or it is surrounded with other fleeting cards. But you know, it also, if it's a message to the person, and you'll know by the placement, it's more of like, it reminds me of this little rhyme we used to sing. It's about having patience. We used to sing this little song in Sunday school, like, have patience, don't be in such a hurry. When you get impatient, you only start to worry. Remember that God is patient too, and think of all the times when others have to wait on you. So, I mean, it has like that denotation to it, but honestly, I mean, think about like what the majority of the readings are love or career related. So, eh. And the Knight of Cups. All right, so we talked about the Page of Cups just before the Knight of Pentacles. And when I see this guy, I'm like, Casanova. I mean, it reminds me of like, this is a Casanova. This is someone who is now confident in like their charm, their wit, and but they're coming at you from an emotional standpoint, right? Because it's cups. It's cups energy. It could also represent a teenage um, cup sign, or water sign. Um, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, it could come from any of those things. But this is someone, and look, his horse's feet are up. Notice this dude ain't, look at his horse's feet. Man, they ain't going nowhere, right? This, this horse's feet is up, so it's in a trot. So this guy, and look, he's got something on his mind. He's got the wings of Mercury on his mind. So he's like, all right, I got a night. I'm coming forth with an offer, either an offer or love, something. I think this person's incredibly confident, so they think that you're going to be receptive to their offer, right? All right. So this is someone with a bit of confidence, and they're moving with purpose, and they've got something emotional or emotionally connected to convey to you. Some people also say this could be an apology card, but this is someone who's actually put thought into their apology. And this is someone who actually is, but they're confident. This is all about confidence. It kind of reminds me of Six of Wands in that way, but with a more emotional standpoint to it. Oh, Mr. Knight of Swords. Loki. Sorry, setting my dog shirt. Today has been a weird day. I've been trying to film this for like 2 hours now. All right, so Knight of Swords. Our Knight of Swords is someone who is headstrong. I mean, they're rushing in, and they're making haste decisions based on their thoughts, based on their all right, I've gathered my intel, and now I'm rushing in, and I'm either, should I stay or should I go? Well, this person has made up their mind. They're either running towards or running away from something. And if they're running towards something, they're doing it with what they think is truth. All right. This is a confrontation card in a lot of ways, but a confrontation of truth, a confrontation of like, I'm going to set the record straight. It kind of reminds me of that, but in a very hasty manner, very young energy. Again, remember, we're doing this. This is young energy. This is like teenage boy and girl energy. So this is like, it almost reminds me of that teenage girl that's like, she's our boy even. That's like, I've had enough. I've had my, and impulsively just smarts off, or impulsively like, well, yeah, well, your mom. That's again going back to my general. Well, your mom. This is that kind of energy. But it doesn't have to be your mom. It could also be something positive too, that they're running towards with their own truth. It depends again on the cards around it and the questions you're asking, right? Knight of Wands. Oh man, Knight of Wands. This dude is a wannabe player. Wannabe player. The Offspring song, you could always go on Ricky Lake. The world needs wannabes, eh? All right, so this is also someone making hasty decisions into something that they're passionate about. So this is like a hasty reaction of passion, but it's not a good energy because there's so much growth and stuff. Again, remember, we've also talked about, these being signifiers. So it could represent a young Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And then the same with the Knight of Swords. I just realized I forgot to mention Knight of Swords. Aquarius, Gemini, and, wow, sorry, it's been a long morning already. Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. But this is more of that fire energy, and this person is just like reacting without thinking. They're just jumping into it. They think, I'm justified. I can tell you they think they justified. Sorry, I don't know. I got to get used to this new phone I'm filming with, but it keeps cutting out, so forgive me. But yeah, she's that bitch. I'm that bitch, dude, motherfucker. You thought you could play me? You know, this is like Alanis Morissette. You ought to know energy in some ways, but this is more of like that. Yeah, I got the house, I got the kids, I got the car, I got and you played me and now you getting it back, but it's about cutting something off. It's like I'm shutting it down, and I'm gonna get what's due to me, what I'm justified to receive. It's that type of energy, and it can represent, again, it can represent a Libra. It can represent an actual, if you're talking about an actual person, it can represent a Libra, a Gemini, or an Aquarius. This actually gives me very almost like scorned Libra energy, but also just Aquarius in general. Like, look, motherfucker, here's the truth of the situation. If you ain't gonna see it my way, there you go on, cause I'm that bitch. The Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is um, this type of energy. Again, it's about emotions. It's just emotions taking me over. But this is someone who is uh, in their, they've mastered their feminine emotions. So this is like the quiet, silent, but still, but you still feel them. Like, this is, I don't, it's not exactly maternal energy, but it can be sort of in a way. But this is more of like, this is how I feel, but I'm only going to express it through my feminine side. I'm only going to let those waves flow through. I'm in control. You see, she's holding it and she's so focused on this, like, thing. And some people like talk about it being like the manna machine, or mana, however you want to pronounce it, from the Bible. And she's got her cherub, she's got her angels looking over her, her three angels. And she is focused on the fact that I am in control of my emotions. I'm in control. Emotions drive me, but I'm in control. Control. And I understand this is someone that has mastered emotional communication. And this is where they are right now. And it can also represent a, like, a, I'd say even an adult. I mean, when it comes to the queens and kings, we're talking adult energy. So this could be an adult Scorpio, Capricorn, or excuse me, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces that is sort of, she's focused on mastering her emotions. And depending on the cards around it, will display what her emotions actually are. Queen of Pentacles. This one is, as we know, earth energy. This is wife material. This is wife and mother right here. She's wife and mother. And she is, you know, she's actually probably heavy as the head that wears a crown. So when I see this, I mean, I see that, like, the way that I see this, I mean, I guess maybe it's because I'm a Taurus and I've been a mom and a wife. I'm still a mom, but it's been like heavy as a head that wears a crown with no appreciation or anything like that. So it can have that negative aspect. It depends on what you look at. You know, this is the wife, this is the mother card. This is like, so if you get this in a reading, a love reading, it would be like, this is someone's ideal, someone who is just gives and is submissive. But this is like, depending on the cards around it, this is the mother and the wife. This is like your mom. You think of your mom, and this is the card that comes to mind. You think of like people that were married for 50 years, and they the mom or the wife was just like, they invested so much and gave and take and gave and take, and they did so without much recognition. Even, I hate to say that, but this is the housewife card, dude. I'm injecting my own like my own impersonations of it. But this is someone who will cook for you, someone who will clean for you, someone who will like take care of your every physical need. That is the Queen of Pentacles. Now the Queen of Wands, this one, she's a witchy woman. Woo, witchy woman. And as we know, it's fire energy, so it can also represent a Leo, Sag, or Aries. But she's got a black cat in front of her, and we notice like she's within her power. Like this song kind of reminds me, or this card reminds me of that song, was a long cool woman in a black dress, that song. This woman is very, 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 like, she's sexy, she's smart, she draws people in. Look at her sunflower, she's holding it, that's it. But she's got like a magical way about her. Like sometimes people would be like, oh, that girl's got it going on, that woman's got it all, and she's independent. But she also has like a mystery to her, and that would be the Queen of Wands. Okay, all right. Sorry about that. I know for y'all it seems seamless because I'm stitching these videos together, but this motherfucking phone's about to piss me the fuck off. Anyway, all right. So now that that's out, you know me, I got that Queen of Swords energy. Motherfucker. All right. So, all right, now we're on to the Kings, right? So the King's energy is like, it is the masculine adult representation of each sign or each energy, be it, as we've discussed before, Pentacles, Earth, Wands, Fire, Swords, Air, and Cups, Water. Those emotions. All right. So now I'm going to start with King of Pentacles. So King of Pentacles is father, husband energy. In some ways, it almost reminds me of like that. I will be your father figure. Put your tiny hand in mine. I will be your preacher, teacher. Anything you have in mind. Anyway, yeah. So it's that type of energy in the respect. Actually, I think that one's more emotional, but that might be more King of Cups. But something about King of Pentacles is like this is the provider. This is someone who, you know, again, like we talked about before, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Notice he's looking at that pentacle, the same as the Queen was. But this is more masculine energy. This is more like she keeps the home and the hearth, and he goes out and provides. This is, it represents like dad and father and like husband energy, like tradition. So if you get this, it can represent a Virgo, it can represent a Taurus, it can represent a Capricorn. But this is someone who is focused on just like, this is their focus, right? Provision, ruling from a physical realm. And so that would be like King of Pentacles energy. If you see this in a love reading, it means this person, it can also denote like, same as Queen of Pentacles, want to be married, want to settle down, want to start a family kind of energy. But it can also represent someone who is set in their own ways as far as their traditions and ideals about love, marriage, things like that. This is a I'm going to marry you and I'm going to take care of you card in a lot of ways. But depending on the cards surrounding it, like how or what, you know, again, we understand like how to read energy, and I'm going to go deep into all of that in after we get through all of arcanas after we get through everything, including major arcana. But this is that energy of, yeah, motherfucker wants to take care of shit. I'm gonna take care of you. I will buy you a garden where your flowers can bloom. I will buy you a new life. But keep in mind, it's by you. So it's physical. It's about the physical. It's actually, it can be a very, very good card, or it can represent an actual adult physical earth energy. King of Wands. Oh, King of Wands. Where can I go there? We talked about the Queen of Wands was, a long, cool woman in a black dress. But this guy right here, this motherfucker right here, look, he's ready to get up if he got to. He might have things to chase, right? So the King of Wands, it reminds me of a playa from the Himalayas. It can be that energy, but it can also, physically represent an adult Leo, Sag, or Aries man, or someone in that masculine energy. But it it reminds me of this dude is so smooth, and he's got a way about him. He could be a player. He's actually, and if he is a player, he knows how to play the game, and he knows how to play it right. So this is a sexy motherfucker. But you notice his animal, our girl, had a cat, so she was in tune with certain things. This motherfucker, he got like a little lizard, and he don't care about that lizard. Look, the queen. So I want to make a clear differentiation. If you get Queen of Wands, that means that person has like fire type mysterious energy, and it's a positive thing. King of Wands can often indicate biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, and I just love your flashy ways. I guess that's why they're broke and you're so paid. It's like that biggie energy, and it's someone who, I'm the shit. I know I'm the shit, and I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna continue being a star. It really does give that. It really, really does. So our King of Swords. King of Swords is air energy, as we've discussed. This motherfucker's holding his sword of truth. And similar to the Queen of Swords, except the King of Swords, some people talk about it can represent someone like in the legal system, in the respect of like, this person is only interested in the truth and nothing but the truth. And they are grounded because they believe they know truth. They know what they're looking for, and that's what they want. It's someone who is just being entirely logical and analytical, like in their thoughts, and they are confident in that ability about themselves. It can also, as we've talked about before, represent a male air sign, say Gemini. I'm trying to remember the air signs. Why am I going blank? I do this shit all the freaking time. A Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius man. But this is someone in Libra can be known to be kind of like back and forth, back and forth. Now, this is someone who's made up their mind. This is more solid, like, all right, I want the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And I'm going to get to it one way or another, and I'm going to do it without emotion. Our King of Cups, however. All right, this is our strong, silent type. This is the man that you would look at, and though they don't convey or show emotion or express it, you feel it. King of Cups energy is someone who is like maintaining strong emotional control, much like the Queen of Cups. But this person here, if you look, I mean, they've got their scepter and they've got their cup, but their cup is empty. And you see that like there's all kinds of things going on, but there's no big waves or anything like that. This is someone who feels incredibly deeply but they've mastered it. They've mastered their emotions. They allow themselves to feel it, but they don't express it necessarily easily or openly. Now, King of Cups can represent because they control it. In other words, they can express it when they want to, or they can just simply keep it hidden. So this is someone who is a master of their emotions. And this is to me, like, the beautiful, perfect man. I mean, I know, like, everyone talks about, like, everyone always gets excited when they get a King of Pentacles in a reading for love, but to me, the King of Cups in love is far more valuable, my own personal opinion. But I mean, I guess it's to each their own, right? But the King of Cups, essentially, this guy right here, he's got a handle on it. There's nothing over. He's well healed emotionally. This is a good man, in my opinion, personally. But this guy, he's got his shit together, emotionally, physically. He's got it. He wears his little, emotions there. This is Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio male energy. This is someone who feels deeply, but's got a good handle on it. And in my opinion, that's my favorite king card to get. So many people get so excited about King of Pentacles because they're like, oh, that means, he wants to provide, he wants to do all those things, but heavy is the head that wears a crown, and that's the thing that I think is often forgotten in King of Pentacles. And this guy, he's all about the truth and nothing but the truth. We've got our King of Cups, who's, to me, that's the best king. And then our playa from the Himalayas. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me. All right, so I think we're good for this one. So we've covered our pages, which is our young childlike energy for each of them. And then we've covered our knights. And next we are going to start diving into the our queens. Yeah. We're going to dive into major arcana. So catch you on the flip. Bye, y'all. Thanks for being patient with me. I know this one, the energy was a little less and everything. I was getting motherfucking frustrated with this fucking phone. But anyway, that's all done now. Ask any questions and I'll tell you no lies. Thanks. Bye.